Hi, I'm the Assistant Marketing Manager for Greenpeace, and today I'm going to talk to you about climate change and what's causing it. Did you know that without the greenhouse effect, the world would be 30 degrees cooler? So today we're going to cover what is climate change, the greenhouse effect, the climate change debate, pro-environmental behaviour, our research objectives, and then we're going to remind you a couple of the key points that we've said throughout the presentation. So what do we know about climate change? Well, it's something that's constantly changing over a geological period of time. The average temperature today is 15 degrees centigrade. Although there has been temperature fluctuations in the past, it is happening at an alarming rate. Scientists have been worried that this is due to human factors, which are adding to the greenhouse effect. So the greenhouse effect actually refers to how the Earth traps energy from the sun in order to radiate it back down to heat our atmosphere and Earth's surface. Without this, Earth would be 30 degrees cooler, making it a hostile environment for the human race. The main human event witnessed to be adding to climate change is carbon dioxide at a massive 57%. This is mainly down to the usage of fossil fuels in our industrial world and our cars. Next up is a rise in carbon dioxide, which is mainly due to the rise in deforestation in order to build new homes and expand our towns and cities. So next up is our climate change debate. We believe that the climate is putting our livelihoods, coastal cities and food production at risk. Our main issue for concern is how our dirty energy system has failed us, making us unwell by choking our cities with unhealthy air, drilling and fracking that is destroying our beautiful landscapes and the nature that we depend and rely on. The only winner in this dirty energy system world is that the companies that are profiting from destroying our Earth. The argument has been backed up by scientists who believe that global warming is due to the industrial and agricultural emissions. We believe and strive that 100% renewable energy is the only way to move forward to tackle this dirty energy system. We are living in a time that due to the Industrial Revolution, methane levels have risen more than 140%. CO2 concentration is now higher than in the last 800,000 years, which has risen by 36% in the last 200 years and is continuing to rise. Deforestation is both damaging our beautiful scenery whilst damaging our Earth by aiding to the CO2 levels to rise further. More than 97% of climate scientists agree that human factors are contributing to the rising temperatures. Scientists are warning of a warming of 4.8 degrees centigrade by the end of the century. We have rising warming by 0.6 degrees centigrade in just the last 3 decades. Without us doing something to tackle this, we could cause the extinction of the human race. So now I've probably got you wondering, how can we have a debate when we agree on pretty much every point? However, in 2017, Maruzzi and Abbott came to state that global temperatures would have changed even without the Industrial Revolution. They differ to the view of scientists who use a 120-year-old model by Svante Arrhenius, which claim that CO2 absorbs infrared radiation. Although they don't dispute this, they argue that there is no correlation to this heating the globe. They believe that in order to correctly analyse CO2 levels, you must collect the data that shows temperatures over the last 2,000 years. They did this by collecting data from tree rings and coral cores. They then fed this data into an analysis machine, and as if there was no extra CO2 emissions over the last 2,000 years. Their analysis showed a near identical match to the current global temperatures, putting a doubt onto the Arrhenius model. As they analysed the data as if there hadn't been an industrial revolution, their analysis showed that temperatures had actually spiked up and down over the last 2,000 years, which can be seen in this diagram. As you can see, temperatures were actually warmer in medieval times, where we then entered what can be seen as a little ice age. The most recent time of temperature being higher than they are today is actually in the 1980s. The diagram also goes to show that temperatures are now at the lowest they have been in the last 8,000 years. Maruzzi goes on to state that through this denial, leaders from within this much revered community can claim that there is something unusual about current temperatures, that we have a catastrophic global warming from industrialisation. Next up is Rick Perry, an energy secretary in the US, who believes that CO2 isn't our main cause for climate change. He believes that the ocean waters and the environment are the main drivers. He stated, "It shouldn't be a debate that climate is changing. It should just be about how can we change it." So, pro-environmental behaviour, what do we mean by it? Well, it's changing your car for something more environmentally friendly, like a hybrid or electric car, using public transport, or just walking when the journey's short. We also look to get people to recycle more to ensure that we reduce landfill waste and reuse materials. We look to save water by making more environmental decisions, like using a water butt to collect rainwater to use up to water our gardens and wash our cars, or converting to smart meters just to keep an eye on how much energy we're using. Reducing energy usage by using more A or A plus rated equipment, and reducing CO2 emissions by using locally sourced and in-season foods. So our research objectives are: explore how the study by Marusi and Abbott may cause issues towards pro-environmental behaviour, to measure current pro-environmental behaviour figures, and to explore how to educate about pro-environmental behaviour. So the main factors are: climate change occurs over a geological period. Scientists are worried about how human factors are speeding up the warming of the climate. The main factor regarding climate change is CO2 and the burning of fossil fuels. A dirty energy system has let us down. 100% renewable energy is the way forward. Deforestation is the reason that CO2 levels have increased. 0.6 degrees centigrade of warming has happened in just the last 3 decades. Some scientists don't believe humans have added to global warming. And controversial scientists may cause people to stop pro-environmental behaviour. So let's change our world from sad to happy again. Thank you for taking your time to listen. I am the Assistant Marketing Manager for Greenpeace. If you would like any more information, please go to the link below. Wait a minute, just one last question. How will you change?